Most people over 60 think they're doing everything right. For their blood pressure. They exercise occasionally, cut salt, and watch what they eat. But what if I told you there's a simple habit you do every single day that quietly raises your blood pressure without you even realizing it? And you might be shocked to hear this because it's not something your doctor is warning you about. It's not in the brochures, not in the medications, and not something that gets talked about in wellness blogs, and yet it's silently affecting your health, raising risks that grow every year after 60. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Even with perfect diet and exercise, many over 60 adults are still struggling with rising blood pressure. How can that be? And you follow the rules. You do what's healthy, and yet your blood pressure numbers creep higher. It's not what you eat. It's not how much you exercise. It's something far more subtle, something woven so deeply into your daily routine that you've never once questioned it. What if the habit you think is completely harmless is the exact thing driving your blood pressure up? I'm not talking about salt, not sugar, not stress. Cease. Right now, you're probably running through a mental list, trying to figure it out. Stop guessing. Because whatever you're thinking, it's almost certainly not this. This isn't about fitness level or willpower. Doesn't matter if you walk every morning, eat clean, or take a handful of supplements. This habit quietly undermines all of it. Blood pressure after 60 isn't just a number on a cuff. It's your body telling you that your heart and arteries are under stress, and that stress increases your risk of stroke, heart attack, and kidney damage, often without a single warning sign, until something goes seriously wrong. Most people spend years blaming their diet or their genetics, never once suspecting it could be something they do every single day without thinking twice. Think about your day. You wake up, maybe stretch or walk a little. Then you sit for breakfast, sit in the car, sit at work or at home, sit to read, sit to breathe, watch TV. And before you know it, 7 hours have passed. Else, you stood up a cesarean few times, but mostly you sat. Not a bad day. That's a normal day. That's every day. And your body has been quietly paying the price for it for years. Here's what makes this so frustrating. You exercise, eat well, manage stress, and your blood pressure still creeps upward. It makes no sense. We've spent our whole lives being told that diet and exercise are the answer. So why do the numbers keep climbing even when you're doing everything right? Drusui, I'm sorry, I'll say because the real problem isn't what that curious you're doing. It's what you're not doing. 4 hours at a time, every single day. And it's so ordinary, so woven into modern life that nobody ever flags it as dangerous. Think about your day again. Sit for breakfast, sit in the car, sit at work, sit to read or watch TV. Even gesturing she. If you exercise later, that pattern repeats tomorrow and the day after, and starts the day after that. Every hour you sit, your arteries stiffen a little more, your circulation slows, your heart has to push harder to move blood through vessels that are becoming less and less cooperative. No alarm goes off, and nothing else hurts. You feel completely fine until your doctor reads you a number that it doesn't. Yeah, this isn't about salt intake. It's not about being lazy. It's not. Genetics. Those things get blamed because they're visible, easy to measure, and everybody expects them to matter. But none of them explain why. Blood pressure keeps rising in people. Are genuinely trying. Prolonged sitting does. That's the driver. If a suri, that's what's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. The longer you sit each day, the more your body locks into a state that works directly against your RBIG, your Schweißgrenzer, energy cardiovascular system. Blood vessels lose elasticity. The heart compensates by pumping harder, and 30 minutes of exercise, as good as it is, cannot reverse what 8 hours of sitting has done. Think about that. You do everything right for half an hour, and then you undo it across the rest of your waking day without even realizing it. It's not just blood pressure either. Prolonged sitting accelerates the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline. Each hour compounds. Blazes free. What does a boy last? And because it never hurts. Because it always feels normal. Most people never connect the dots until the damage is already done. So, here's the question you're probably asking. What do I actually do about it? Yeah, the answer is simpler than you think. NHS. Andrin Shri and surgery that danderses that's rights and danse exactly why most people dismiss it before it has a chance to work. Ekobatsuri in Surwak Krisher. When you sit for long periods, your arteries don't just carry blood less efficiently, they physically begin to change. That's a fright. Stiffen. The walls that are meant to be elastic, meant to expand and contract with every heartbeat, start losing that flexibility. Over time, they become less responsive, less alive to the natural rhythm of circulation. And stiffer Artery isn't just a passive condition. It forces a consequence. It means your heart has to generate more pressure, more force just to push the same volume of blood through a system that used to do it with ease. That's not a theory. That's not speculation or exaggeration. That's the mechanism. That's what's by Curry happening inside your body right now. If you've been sitting for the last hour, reading this, your circulation subtly resisting, your vessels gradually adapting, your system shifting toward rigidity instead of flow, and the change doesn't announce itself. And you don't feel your arteries stiffen in real time. There's no immediate signal. There's no sharp warning. It's quiet, incremental. It builds in the background while everything else feels normal. And this is why exercise alone isn't enough. Single burst of activity, no matter how intense or disciplined, cannot fully counterbalance hours of stillness. And you say, correct, run a mile in the morning, elevate your heart rate, get your blood moving, do everything right, and still spend the next 9 hours slowly undoing it. That's dramatically, not all at once, but steadily, as your body returns to the position it recognizes most. Because the distury body adapts to the position it holds the longest. That's the rule it follows. Not the most intense moment, not the healthiest intention, but the most consistent pattern. And for most people, over 60, that position is sitting. Day after day, hour after hour, the body learns it, reinforces it, and eventually reshapes itself around it. So what feels like rest becomes over time a kind of quiet conditioning, one that favors stiffness over flexibility, pressure over ease, and stillness over movement. Once you see it, everything else clicks into place. The confusion fades. The pattern becomes obvious. All those times, you followed the advice perfectly, reduced the salt, stayed consistent with your walks, did what you were told, and still got the same result. This is why the salt restriction helped a little. The walks helped a little. Each effort moved the needle, but only slightly, because none of it was addressing the thing that was working against you the entire time. The quiet constant, the background condition that never changed. It wasn't your effort that was failing. It wasn't a lack of discipline or consistency or will. It was an incomplete picture, a missing piece that kept the results from ever fully lining up with the work you were putting in. Prolonged sitting is one of the most underestimated drivers of rising blood pressure in adults over 60. It doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't feel harmful in the moment, but it exerts a steady, cumulative effect that builds over time, hour by hour, day by day. Not speculation. This is backed by research. Studies consistently show that extended periods of sitting increase both systolic and diastolic pressure. They show it accelerates arterial stiffening, gradually reducing the elasticity your circulatory system depends on. And they show it raises overall cardiovascular risk even in people who exercise regularly, even in those who are otherwise doing everything right. Because the body doesn't separate 1 hour of movement from 9 hours of stillness. It averages them. It adapts to the dominant behavior. And when stillness dominates, its effects begin to outweigh everything else. So what? Looks like a small harmless habit, just sitting a little too long, a little too often, quietly becomes one of the most influential forces shaping your cardiovascular health. Controlling blood pressure isn't only about what you eat or how often you work out. It goes deeper than that. It's about what your body is doing in all the time between those moments, the hours that don't feel important, the stretches of the day that pass without much thought. That's where the real pattern lives. Because movement isn't just an event. It's not something that only counts when you're exercising. It's a pattern that unfolds across your entire day. The way you sit, how long you stay there, how often you interrupt. That stillness, these things matter more than most people were ever told. In fact, they quietly shape your physiology, far more than a single workout ever can. That's why nothing fully worked before. Not completely, not in the way you expected. The salt restriction addressed fluid balance and pressure regulation. The exercise improved circulation and strengthened your heart. Clean eating supported your overall system. None of those efforts were wasted. They were real, meaningful, and necessary. But they weren't the whole picture. Because while you were doing all of that right, the sitting remained untouched, unchallenged. It stayed consistent in the background hour after hour, quietly, reinforcing the very condition you were trying to change. And no matter how disciplined you were everywhere else, that one constant kept pulling your numbers back up slowly, persistently, almost invisibly. It didn't cancel your efforts, but it diluted them. It kept you from seeing the full return on everything you were putting in. Now you know what was missing. Now the picture is complete. So here's what you do. You break the pattern. Stand up every 30 to 60 minutes. Take a short walk. Do a few stretches. It doesn't have to be intense. It just has to be consistent. These small interruptions to sitting do something a single workout cannot. They keep your arteries from locking into that stiffened state across the full length of your day. In the next video, we'll go further specific 5-minute movement routines built for adults over 60 that directly counter the damage prolonged sitting causes. But don't wait for the next video to start. Stand up right now. That's not a small thing for your arteries. That's exactly the right